How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Black Metal Rebellion. I'm your host, Jesse Morgan, aka Slammerella, and today this video is going to be a bit of a mishmash. It's supposed to be the albums of the year for 2020. I actually got a stack of albums that I did actually get here in 2020. I'm going to be talking a bit about them, and I'm going to be talking about a couple albums that I didn't get, but I did listen to, or you definitely should check out. So let's talk about albums of 2020. All right, I'm going to move my list here that I can reference. So the first thing that we started off 2020 with was this, Hazard, with their second album, Delirium. Awesome thrash metalers out of Canada. I think I got this copy from the Metalhead box back when I saw they had a few copies, and I asked them if they had any left, and sure enough they did. This is an amazing follow-up to their first album. Really great riffs, great singing, awesome performance by the drummer and vocalist. They're just a badass team of local thrashers. So if you haven't checked out their January 24th release, Delirium, you need to do yourself a favor and check it out. And if you want to hear me gush more about this, I actually did a review earlier on my channel, so check out my reviews playlist and find it there. So yeah, the first thing starting up this year was great out of the bank, Hazard with Delirium. Okay, so right after that, following up with Hazard's Delirium, we have the Prince of Darkness himself, Ozzy Osbourne, sending us another heap of kind of bluesy heavy metal with Ordinary Man. Lots of good tracks on here, being Under the Graveyard, the Straight to Hell first track, which took a bit to grow on me, but I actually don't mind it now. And then Scary Little Green Men, that video featuring Jason Momoa was awesome. We all love Jason Momoa. There's the disc there. And of course, the last track, Take What You Want. Really good song, very soulful, even with Post Malone being in it. But yeah, another slice of Ozzy Osbourne to add to your collection if you're a classic metal kind of dude or girl, or in between. If you like metal, you'll enjoy this album by Ozzy Osbourne. So yeah, another great release from 2020, came out in February on the 21st. Moving along to something that I don't know why the fuck Wikipedia considers this metal, but they did for 2020 metal releases. I picked this up for the wife, so I'm going to show it here. The next is Hollywood Undead with New Empire Volume 1. Now, if you've been following my channel for any amount of time, you know I enjoy Hollywood Undead. You know I was a big fan of their earlier stuff. As they went along, they started adding more and more just kind of mainstream sounding songs, more softer sounding songs, more like club hit inspired sounding songs. So the last album, Hollywood V or Hollywood 5, wasn't really my bag. There was like maybe one or two songs that I really enjoyed, and it wasn't because they are heavy, it's just because they had a really kind of groovy, cool beat to them, which is either here nor there. So I'm not going to talk about the other album that they came out with, Empire Volume 2, that came out this month, December. I think it came out in December anyways. I'm not going to talk about that one, but we got this one on CD. Not sure if we got it from Walmart or Amazon, but we got a copy. So yeah, this is all right, I guess. Time Bomb has a pretty good riff in it. I don't know. Honestly, Deuce did a better Nightmare song, and I feel like they kind of stuck it to him by also doing a song called Nightmare. But it is what it is. So yeah, New Empire by Hollywood Undead, which I don't know why it says 2019 on the back here. Maybe that's when they released the digital copy, but In my notes, it says they released this February 7th, so it's in here. Alright. Another thing that's controversially maybe not considered metal, I feel like it's alternative metal and new metal, and I don't know what else to call it. It's like heavier Stone Sour mixed with heavier Godsmack, and I know everyone's going to shut this off as soon as I show it, but the wife likes it. We got it for the wife. I'm showing it here because we have a physical copy of it, and it's from 2020, and that is Five Finger Death Punch's F8 or Fate, maybe. And it's actually not too bad if you can get past all the memes and all the things that people like to shit on Five Finger Death Punch for. If you like Stone Sour or Slipknot, Ivan Moody basically sounds like Corey Taylor to me. So honestly, I enjoy this when the wife puts it on. I'm not going to put it on purpose because when I think of listening to music, I'm thinking of listening to like extreme metal or punk. So I'm not really thinking of alternative metal or new metal anymore, except for maybe like Korn, which still bumps like crazy. But yeah, this came out February 21st of this year and wasn't too bad. Once again, more of the wife's thing than mine, but I don't know. I enjoy it. Nickelback can go fuck themselves though. Unless it's like from The Curb. The Curb was a decent album, and then that was it. Alright, so skipping down to a couple of things that aren't really big name. Something that I actually got recently, but I can't get enough of it. It's really good. Thank you, Metalhead Box, for showing me this. That is Hemotoxin with Restructuring the Molded Mind. This is one of the coolest, most intricate, spiced up subgenre of thrash project that I've probably heard in a long time. This is a great progressive death thrash album coming right out of California, USA. This, of course, coming out March 16th. And I as soon as I heard this, out of the 3 albums that came in the last Metalhead box, I knew this was the outstanding project. This even has a bonus EP on it that I forgot to mention in the unboxing video, called the Alchemist EP, and it has like 5 extra tracks at the bottom there. You can see there. So that's cool as well that they threw that on here, and I actually really enjoyed this. And when I'm going through my list of new albums that I've picked up recently, I definitely throw this on. I'm probably going to bump this again later today after I watch Wonder Woman 84 with the wife. So, yep, check out Hemotoxin's 2020 album from March 16th, Restructure the Molded Mind. You'll dig it if you're into thrash or like just something heavy and groovy and just something neat. Also, it's on Dark Descent, so there we go. Alright, another thing that I did a review on earlier this year, within the last couple of months, and praised the shit out of it. This nice, gritty, raw album from Helfected, Woe to the Kingdom of Blood. This is really good. I keep coming back to this as well for whatever reason. Something just keeps telling me to listen to this. And if you want to hear more, once again, check out my review playlists and find me gushing over it there. Check them out. Excellent band from England, March 29th of this year. So, first 3 months gone by and we already got some decent metal. But then April comes by and this comes out on my son's birthday. Excellent. Progenitors of Thrash. One of the big 4 that kind of just gets pushed to the side, that should have been definitely there instead of Slayer. And I'm talking about Testament. Testament with their comeback album after that kind of Snakes, Brotherhood of the Snake album. This though, Titans of Creation, is amazing, has all of the awesome thrash riffs, just all of the hooks and the grooves, and the vocals are pretty on point considering how old these guys are getting. It just makes them sound even more gruff and grizzled. And the Power and Yanks is back with Testament. I am surprised I didn't do a review of this because this was really good. But honestly, it's kind of speaks for itself, and there's so many reviews for this album out there already that I don't really need to gush about it. Everyone already knows how amazing it is and that you should check it out. So yeah, April 3rd, Testament came back with a right hook to the balls with Titans of Creation. Check it out. Amazing album. Moving along to something I don't have and I wish I had, that's also pretty damn good, and I keep going back and listening to it here and there, is the April 24th release of Warbringer with Weapons of Tomorrow. Excellent album, very fast, very thrash, very furious. Of course, they're adding in elements, of little bits of death metal here and there, maybe some progressive elements here and there. They are just continuing to expand their horizons and kind of up the game, and there's a couple of maybe more sorrowful songs here and there, some more long-winded things here and there, but overall, Warbringer's Weapons of Tomorrow was really, really good. Check that one out. And, of course, if you're mentioning Warbringer, you have to mention Havoc with Havoc 5 that came out the following month on the heels of Warbringer on May 1st. So, Havoc 5, or Havoc V, which obviously is 5, was a little bit of a better production, a little bit more of a kind of powerhouse thrash trip down memory lane. Conformicide was good. I obviously got a copy of that on a digipack, but Havoc 5 definitely steps up again and kind of brings that time is up feel. And the third album, which I can't remember, I'm going to put the text in white here, but yeah, it kind of gives back to those vibes, but also branches forward in the career and adding different things to their plate as well to be enjoyed, so it doesn't get stale. And everyone always complains when a band just uses the same old tricks that they've had up their sleeve over and over again. So I'm glad that Havoc kind of took a little bit of a chance and added in these new elements. Really cool stuff. I'm definitely going to throw it on probably tomorrow after a few videos I have to catch up on YouTube here. Maybe a couple of your guys' best of 2020 albums, we'll see. But yeah, I'm definitely throwing that on again really, really soon, and so should you. All right. At the very end of May, we got treated with a really, really cool album from an awesome band that I enjoy, and I don't like calling bands by themed elements of their lyrics or the way they dress, but the pirate metal band Alestorm came out with The Crystal Coconut, The Curse of the Crystal Coconut, and man, what a treat it was. May 29th was definitely a day to behold. The folk metal, thrash metal, and even the odd death growl here and there for good measure, guys, graced us with another album that I sadly didn't get a physical copy of, which is why you're seeing on the screen beside me right now. But oh man, there is so many good lines and funny kind of one-off quips that happen in this album. I was laughing quite a bit. Your pirate ship is a pile of dicks, or a bag of dicks, killed me when I heard it. Treasure Party, or Treasure Chest Party, is a really good track. And of course the Fanny Bosch song was kind of neat. And just there's a bunch of good tracks on here. There's a couple kind of fillers. Like, I'm not a really big fan of Wooden Leg 2, the woodening, where at the end of the song he ends up cutting off his own head and saying that he has a wooden head now. I don't know. That part didn't land with me, but the rest of The Curse of the Crystal Coconut was great, and I wish I had a physical copy of this because I love Alestorm. It just didn't get into my cart. And I wasn't able to click purchase, but eventually I will pick up a physical copy of this. Really, really great album. Moving on to something that I did get thanks to the gracious generosity of this Swedish metal band, and that is the new album by Revenge Prevails with Habitats. Once again, if you want to go check out my review for this, I gush about it in detail and tell you why you should be picking this up. Really, really good stuff. came out June 14th. So the middle of June definitely had a treat for us, and that was Habitats by Revenge Prevails. And once again, I'm pretty sure I remember saying, at glance, you wouldn't know that this is some amazing and sorrowful, grim, melodic, blackened death metal, but it is. And it's deceivingly covered in this happy, industrial-looking smoke cloud imagery and package, and there's just no real hint at what you're in for just by looking at this. So if you need any more encouragement, go check out my review and then go listen to this. Revenge Prevails is putting out the talent and the artistic conviction for sure with Habitats. Really great and well deserving of the rank I give it in that video. So check out Sweden's Revenge Prevails Habitats from June 14th, 2020. Alright, so moving on from Revenge Prevails, we got a release a couple days later with Mushroomhead, A Wonderful Life. And if you're a long-time Mushroomhead fan, you went one way or another with this. You really were happy that they came out with a new album and that you got to hear new material and that it was more Mushroomhead. Or you were just like, what the fuck is this boring abomination, and why did I spend, you know, $22 on it shipped? So, the problem is that I think everyone was hoping for and maybe expecting another, I don't know, 13, maybe another Righteous and the Butterfly, but we didn't quite get that. A lot of the people in this that were really big for a while, you know, Jeffrey Nothing and a couple of the other members left, and then we got J-Man returning, but he didn't really get too much to do or say on this, minus a couple of lines here and there and a couple of songs. So A Wonderful Life seems more of a sarcastic, jaded commentary on what has happened to Mushroomhead over the years, and these songs have kind of a representation of where they are right now, and there's a couple of good ones, but there's also a couple of really boring stinkers and some kind of really fillery interlude instrumental things that I really could have done without. So yeah, this is definitely no Righteous and the Butterfly. This isn't even Beautiful Stories for Ugly Children. Sadly, out of those three, this is the bottom of the tiers. So yeah, we did get new Mushroomhead in 2020, but it was a pale reflection of what it used to be. I do still go back and listen to this every now and then, but the reason why it's being shown in this video is because I actually did get a physical copy of it from this year. Now we're going to move on to a bit of a shotgun blast of artists that did come out until we hit about July 3rd. So June 26th, we got two albums. We got Croc and Grin with Frankensteina Embarrassmenta. I don't know. The Croc and Grin train kind of derailed for me after Where Corpses Lie or Where Corpses Sink Deep or whatever the fuck that album is, or maybe the one just after it, Where Corpses Sink Forever. I did pick up This Is No Fairy Tale, but honestly I could have probably done with that album. And then this thing came out. I think I heard the Charlie song or Frankie or whatever it was, and that just was awful. Couldn't stand it. I will have to give the rest of the album a listen to, but if it's anything like that, it's probably going to be a hell no from me. And then on that same day, we also got Falconer with From a Dying Amber, and then Falconer, of course, being one of the only power metal bands that I actually enjoy. Let me know in the comment section if you count Falconer as power metal, of course. But unfortunately, I haven't gotten around to listening to that yet. For whatever reason, I missed it, and I feel like an idiot for not going and watching it. But I want to mention it in this video because Falconer is definitely worth a listen to if you enjoy sorrowful, melodic, kind of overall great production with kind of clean but like epically awesome vocals for music. So go check out Falconer. Let me know what you think of From a Dying Ember. Does it stand up to their old stuff? If you've never heard of Falconer before, is this something that you might enjoy or welcome into your regular listening endeavors? So yeah, that came out on the same day as Krokengren's Frankensteina, whatever, on June 26th of this year. And then moving on to the last physical copy of something I have from this year, I also did a review for this one, and that is Terror Machine with Ingen Retret. 3 tracks of just amazing, just venomous, terrifyingly thrilling black metal, black and thrashing death metal, I believe. Yeah, it's something that you definitely want to get into your rotation. This isn't a full album, of course, but I feel like they deserve the recognition. Hopefully we see a full length from Terror Machine in the future. If you guys are watching, let me know what you're working on. Glad to do another review on the full album if you guys have one coming. I definitely need more Terror Machine in my life in the future, so go check them out. Excellent stuff that came out July 3rd. Alright, moving on to August of this year. On the 7th came out Onslaught, classic thrash, just amazing stuff that gets often overlooked. We got a awesome shirt in the Metalhead box a while back, and the artwork was from their album 6. What an album that was. I got that on physical copy. I unfortunately didn't get the Generation Antichrist album yet, though. Once again, just another one of those instances where it just didn't make it into my cart, and I didn't press purchase yet. So another thing that I really need to get into my collection, and I hope you guys checked out Generation Antichrist. Amazing thrash, and I keep hearing a lot of good things from it from a lot of the reviewers here on YouTube, so you should probably go check it out yourself and make up your mind on whether it's worthy of purchasing or not. But it's definitely going to be finding its way into my collection as soon as I can afford to do so. Moving on to August 21st. This band is a awesome, I believe, Canadian band. They are called Unleash the Archers, and they came out with an album called Abyss on the 21st. They are a female-fronted, kind of epic, folky, melodic, thrashy at times metal band. I'll put their subgenre here, but yeah, awesome. Once again, I believe Canadian metal band that you should check out. Their older albums are definitely adventurous and wild and great production. The songs will have you headbanging for sure, and it is just an overall fun time. So go check out Unleash the Archers, Abyss, from August 21st of this year. Okay, now moving on to an artist that I give so much praise to and that I listened to all throughout high school and even my adult years. I even enjoyed the last album, Heaven Upside Down, but the next album I just couldn't bring myself to actually go out of my way to purchase and make sure I have a physical copy of, and I'm talking about Marilyn Manson with We Are Chaos. Sadly, We Are Chaos isn't equally as intriguing as Heaven Upside Down or even The Pale Emperor or anything like that. It's probably his most slowest and most boring album to date. In an interview, he seemed like it was one of the more personal and more kind of experimental albums that he's tried to produce or make. But honestly, I know we're never getting like Antichrist Superstar ever again, but can we at least get Born Villain, or maybe even like a Golden Age of Grotesque Part 2? That'd be nice. Even just something heavier from Manson. I know it's just kind of like industrial goth rock and sometimes metal thrown in depending on what track it is, but I don't know. I know he's getting old and he's kind of an outdated goth icon, but I would expect more from Marilyn Manson, more edge, more bite, more fangs. It feels like he's metaphorically filed down his vampire fangs. I don't know where this analogy is going, but it feels like he's kind of filed off his edge and he's not as gritty and hard anymore, hard hitting. And that's what I was kind of hoping from We Are Chaos, but sadly it's nothing like that. Do you guys like We Are Chaos? Did you find it kind of boring, or did you find his new direction refreshing? Tell me in the comment section, please. Alright, moving on to something that I'm ashamed of not getting. I don't even have the album previous to this, and sadly, this artist has been shit on so many times, and I get slack for liking this artist beyond Warpath. Everyone just dismisses Chris Barnes, but on October 2nd, Metal Blade Records released 6 Feet Under's Nightmare of the Decomposed, and it has gotten the worst criticism I think 6 Feet Under has ever gotten, or Chris Barnes has ever gotten, because his vocals at this point are shot either from doing growling all his life or from smoking all his weed. I don't know what, but his vocals have deteriorated so far that to say that vocals are a preferred taste is even pushing it. I'm not sure if I can bring myself to listen to the full album in whole in one sitting. We'll see. I'm gonna have to test that theory someday soon as well. But yeah, Nightmares of the Decomposed, even the artwork is kind of like 90s 3D game, horror game artwork. It's not great. It's kind of an interesting coincidence that artwork and his vocals are kind of equally as awful. So yeah, my death metal idol, the guy that got me into death metal, Chris Barnes, has kind of let me down with this album. I still need to go get Torture or whatever the one is with the person hanging, and yeah, that one was probably the last bastion of a somewhat redeemable, decent 6 Feet Under album. Nightmares of the Decomposed, sadly, is probably not something I'm going to be rushing out to getting, and if I see it at my local Deja Vu for like $3, I might pick it up, but I don't think I'm going to be spending my hard-earned cash for this release by 6 Feet Under. But yes, more did come out in October. October 9th came out with Necrophobic's Dawn of the Damned, their most recent album, and although I do prefer listening to their earlier albums, this one is pretty good as well. The Mark of the Necrogram, I feel, is better than this one, but there are a few tracks that are really, really good too. The Dawn of the Damned track itself is really good. The song that came just before that one on the album that I'll put here is also really, really good. I didn't get a chance to listen to the full album because I was trying to reiterate myself with the stuff that came out this year, but from what I did here, it was enjoyable and definitely another Necrophobic release to look out for. So yeah, Dawn of the Damned, great 2020 album. And then at the very end of the month, October 30th, Evil Dead finally returned from what seemed like the grave and gave us United States of Anarchy. The band's second album was probably their best one and their most enjoyable and had some of the best riffs and guitaring and whatnot. This one seemed like they were trying to bring in some of the glory days, but also trying to add in a little bit of maybe that modern thrash sound here and there, but ultimately kind of came off as a C+ or B- album in general. We're all glad, obviously, that Evil Dead is back and bringing us more material, and after a few listens more, it might get a little bit higher ranking. But yeah, that's all I can give it right now, is about a C+ or a B-. The first album and second album were definitely better, and if you really want some awesome Evil Dead, just go listen to the second album, title provided here. Annihilation of Civilization, classic of course, and I don't think they'll ever get back to that. But once again, glad to see that Evil Dead came out with a new album in the United States of Anarchy. I unfortunately haven't picked up a copy, but it will eventually find its way into my collection. Is it going to find its way into yours? Let me know in the comment section. All right, and the last two things on this list also did not make it into my collection, but are something noteworthy for sure. So the second last one, and I'm surprised that no one's talked about this, but at the same time, I'm not surprised that anyone's touching this at all. Inquisition. Are they still being canceled on Twitter? Is Dagon still on trial for that kiddie porn thing? I don't know, but he's still in the band, and Inquisition still actually released an album this year on November 20th called Black Mass for a Mass Grave. And I'm assuming that right now we're all cringing, or we're all just not giving a fuck because keep extreme metal extreme and separate the art from the artist, right? Are we still doing that? Let me know in the comment section. But yeah, surprisingly enough, Inquisition came out with a new album, and I don't think any of us have checked it out yet, and if we have, no one's talking about it for whatever reason. If you have heard it, let me know in the comment section if it's just as good as the other albums. I'm sure if they didn't change their formula at all, it's still frog croaking vocals and amazingly composed guitar riffs with whoever's doing the drums. So yeah, Inquisition came out with a new album. Holy shit. And to finish off this albums of 2020 list, that's probably a 30-minute video right now after editing, maybe longer, is Sodom, the kings of the Tectonic Four, black or thrash, whatever they're trying to do right now is working, and everyone seems to be talking about Genesis 19. And yeah, I have a long way to go when it comes to catching up on Sodom albums. This just adds to the growing list, and I'm sure after giving it a few more listens, it will be something that I will be remiss about picking up. So yeah, very sad about not having a copy of this among a whole slew of other releases that I definitely need physical copies of for sure. The latest album by Sodom, Genesis 19, what do you think of it? Is it just as good as the last couple albums that came out? Is it better? Is it ever going to be under the sign of evil? Probably not, but Sodom still good nevertheless, and it just goes to show that even if you're an aging musician, you could still put out quality, awesome metal and be relevant in today's circles. Yeah, I don't know. But yes, that's my whole albums of 2020 list of bands to check out, maybe a couple to avoid, and this is my stack, at least that I can remember, that I actually acquired in 2020. Not all that much, but honestly, if you're a metalhead or punk, we have so many albums to catch up on from over the years that all of our favorite artists have released, and I think we're always going to be trying to catch up on top of trying to also acquire the new releases. So, you know, good luck to us trying to do so, especially when the world is burning, sometimes literally and sometimes metaphorically. But overall, I think that there has been some pretty decent albums that have been released over the course of 2020, and like everyone else, I'm sure we're hoping that 2021 is going to be a way better year, and perhaps be a reason to call this the Roaring 20s as well, because I would love to have something to be excited about and motivated about and looking forward to beyond this craziness that's going on right now. That's probably all from me until the new year. Until I get a couple more albums in my collection, there will be a new update whenever that can happen. If I have anything come across my desk, i.e. my emails of any new albums that you guys would like me to review, feel free to send it there. My email's at the back end of my page. Always looking to your submissions and seeing what new albums are out there and giving my thoughts on them, if they're worthy of a 7 out of 10 or higher, of course, because I don't like to do bad rankings. My last bad ranking was Accidental. Like, I feel like I took a shit all over this, and I didn't mean to. I was just looking to see if there was any heavy steampunk related bands. But yeah, that's it for me until probably the new year. So, you know, happy new year to you guys. Hope it's a good one. Don't get too drunk, and if you do, don't fucking drive. Don't be an idiot. I still have my fucking Christmas tree up, so there we go. That's how prepared for 2021 I am. That's it for me. For Glory, for the Rebel Alliance, Slammerella out. Let's hope for a better 2021. Holy Jesus.